This is Lady Myya. I am here with Tisha Waddell. Okay, understand this. My soul sister from another mister. She has a book out, y'all. Broken to Blended. Okay, she is an amazing woman. She has everything that she's trying to help others with. And I'm going to allow her to actually give us the information on the book and what it is about. That way, you know what? We don't get lost in translation, you guys. So
Right.
definitely, my Mayan tribe, please welcome Tisha Waddell.
Hi, everybody. So I am Tisha Waddell, and I am just ecstatic to be on your program today. So thank you for the invitation. I'm in a rolling chair, so if you see me moving all over the place, it's because my chair just won't be still. But I do have a book that I have authored, and it is focusing on it's called Broken to Blended, establish and embrace a new blended norm in 7 weeks. And it is a workbook style book that takes you through 7 different aspects of blended families and the stuff that comes up in them. So child support, dating, visitation, communication, just the gamut of things that we face in these relationships. And it talks to you from a biblical perspective, from the perspective of a person who has confidence that no matter how crazy everything seems, God is in control. And so it has been um, a labor of love because it was born from my own adversity in my own blended family structure. And it just, it's all of the lessons that I learned the hard way and just kind of giving them to you and saying, hey, you can take it for what it's worth, you can take it or leave it, but here's everything that life has taught me, and I want you to take it so that you don't have to repeat all of the lessons that I had to repeat the hard way. And it's a good book, and you can place your pre-order. I'm taking pre-orders right now at www.brokentoblended.com, and that's www.broken blended blended.com.
Yes. Okay, so.
Yes.
You know, a sister's gonna have to get you to spill the tea just a
Ask
little bit, a
anything,
little
honey,
bit.
anything.
So, okay, I am. I've talked to you prior. We've had you on the show before.
Yes.
I feel like, what was the story though? You know, like, okay, so the story. How did it all begin from beginning to end? So
Okay.
beginning being, the first marriage
Right.
to now.
To my forever marriage. Yeah. Okay. So when I was like 19 years old, I met this guy, and he was the cutest little thing, and he was, just, you know, the
Mhm.
one, right? He was the one. And so no, I was probably about 20. I wasn't 19. I was probably like 20. And we started dating, and he was older than me. He was maybe 5 years older than me. And so it was like this mature relationship. And um, he was just a really nice guy. And I was like, this is the one. And so we decided we were going to have a kid together. And so I found myself pregnant and alone. I found myself, like, before I even found out that I was pregnant, we had broken up, and it just seemed like there was no hope for reconciliation. And there was another female who had kind of been this back and forth, like the back and forth female. She came and she went, she came and she went. And so he would kind of bounce between the two of us. Well, we both ended up having children. Our children are 9 months apart. So my baby was born, and then 9 months later, he had another baby. And he and I ended up getting back together. You know, you can be young and stupid, y'all. Call it what you want, but it is the reality of a lot of women. So my story is not uncommon. But we ended up getting back together, and we got married. And so when we got married, we had another child together. And so at this point now, I had 2 children, and I had a husband who had another child outside of our marriage, but it wasn't y'all get it. So now I'm in this situation where it's like I've got to learn very quickly how to navigate these emotional landmines, because I am now the mother, but I'm also a stepmother. And then at some point, my relationship went poorly with my ex-husband. And so I became the ex-wife who was now a mother, still a stepmother because I still loved the baby that he had. And now I am the biological mom and having to deal with other women being in my children's life. So all of this, all of these things that we often don't really think about when we get into these relationships and have these children, all of these things became my reality. And I had to navigate all of this with a broken heart. Because Myya, you have to know that when you are in a relationship with somebody and you bear their children, no matter how much you might not like them after that relationship ends, you still love them. And your heart is broken because we do desire, most of us, a family. We don't want to raise our kids by ourselves. And I had to do it really very alone because I didn't have the support of my ex-husband. Thank God for my village, for my friends, for my family, but I had to heal. And so all of that healing comes through in this book. But then after I went through the process of learning how to be a mom, and see, this is the thing, I had to learn how to be in a co-parenting relationship with somebody who wasn't the ideal co-parent. So I didn't have the benefit of being like, oh, he's great, the money flows every month like it should, and he comes and gets the kids and I get a break. It was none of that. Everything was a fight, everything was a battle. And I had to learn how to be in that, and how not to be bitter, how to heal and not be broken, how to just be a woman, because I still had to raise my daughters. And you can't raise whole and healthy children if you are broken, busted, and bitter. You cannot. You just cannot. So after I went through a lot of the healing, and granted, now keep in mind, healing is a forever process. But after I went through a lot, it really is. I ended up marrying my forever husband, and he has children that he brought to the relationship. And I would just see, like, I saw the interaction between me and his ex-wife, and I was like, this is like deja vu. Like, she was at that place that I was at, 10 years ago with my ex-husband. And it was new for her because it was fresh for her. So I started sitting and I was like, what can I do with all this head knowledge and this heart knowledge and this life experience? What can I do with this? And the Lord really started dealing with me and was like, write it down, write it down. And so I had a friend who at the time was going through a battle with cancer. And she wanted me to do this devotional with her. And I was like, I'll do anything with you, girl. Like, you have the biggest fight on your hands right now. You could ask me to trek up, Mount Kilimanjaro with you right now. And I would tell you yes. But she bought the devotional and we made it through about 2 weeks of the devotional before she got really, really sick and just could not, endure anymore. And so, after she passed away, I went back to that devotional and I committed to finishing it. And it was a 7-week devotional series. So I went through it. And it was like the Lord was saying, this is the style of which I want you to use to write your book. And so that's what I did. I sat down and I said, okay, Lord, walk me through it. And he walked me through it, and Broken to Blended was born. And this has been a 5-year journey for me.
Wow.
Because I'd start and then I'd get distracted, and then I'd start again, and then I'd get discouraged, and then I'd start again, and then I'd feel unqualified, and like there was just all this stuff. But then finally I finished, and when I finished, it was like, okay, I was done, and then I didn't know what to do next, Lady Myya. I didn't know what to do next because I was like, okay, I wrote it, now what? And the Lord said, now share it, And so that's what I'm doing. And I pray that somebody is blessed by it. I really pray that somebody is blessed by it.
Honey, child, I think that story is so, it really resonates with people that don't even want it to resonate with them.
Yeah, because nobody wants that to be their story. We all try to play so hard, like we got it so together. We got to play so hard.
And then, like you said, that hurt. you sitting there and you like, well, that ain't me. I don't know what she had, or whatever, whatever. But you didn't
I'm
read.
good. I'm fine. I'm good.
Yeah, read the book.
Yeah.
Figure it out.
I was
Like,
broken
okay,
hearted.
wait, dig this. How about since you so well put together, get the book and prove her wrong.
Prove me wrong. Prove me
That's
wrong.
what I'm
Yeah,
saying. That's all I'm
prove
saying.
me wrong. And this
Prove
is
me
the thing,
wrong.
and this is the thing, Lady Myya. So, and I don't try and paint any false narrative because I don't want anybody to think that this book teaches you how to live some kumbaya life. What it
Right.
teaches you is how to be good with yourself
Right.
so that you can be all right no matter what the drama is around you. Because when I started, and I told you, I got to a point where I was like, maybe I'm not qualified to write this book because my husband's ex-wife is like this with me, right? And there's so much tension and so much, and really I'm like, just relax. But it's like at every turn there's an attempt to just paint me out to be this horrific person.
Right.
And especially when I started down this journey and I started talking about how I wanted to write this book. Don't just know when you want to do something that's going to bless people, you will have opposition. And
Mhm.
so I had to kind of get to the point where I was like, you know what, we just going to have to take the covers off and people are going to, I have to be able to be honest and say, no, this woman still hates me.
Mhm.
She still hates me. And no matter what tactics I try to implement, she still hates me. But it's
Mhm.
okay because we have peace in this house.
Yeah.
And see, that's what it's about. It's not about trying to
Mhm.
make sure that you can take vacations with your baby daddy or with your baby mama. It's not about that. It's about making sure that you have peace so that you're not responding in anger and you're not responding from frustration so that when they say the things or they don't follow through with the promises, you're not so broken that you're giving back toxicity. Cuz it's
Mhm.
hard to have a one-sided fight, Myya.
Honey, look, let's not go there because I can have a whole one-sided fight and it's like you said, when you have that person, and sometimes it's not even the women. It could be the man.
Yeah.
Now he feel like, oh well, I'm this and I'm that, and I got this now and I got that, and you're like, so
Yeah. But I
what?
wanted to like, and I'm gonna just be honest. And this is why I understand my husband's ex-wife. I understand because I was in her shoes. I wanted to take my ex-husband for all he had. Because if you're gonna leave me, you're gonna leave our children, you're gonna go and live this fabulous life. He got a settlement for $500,000 while we were married and
Mm,
did nothing for me and my children.
mm.
Nothing. And so I was like, okay, I'm gonna get you. And it was like I'm gonna take you to court every chance I can. And then I got tired of it because I was like, I'm going to court all these times and nothing is
It's a
changing.
full-time job, girl. No.
Like you sit in there for 8 hours and everybody hears your business in the courtroom and it's very demeaning and degrading. And I was like, why am I doing this? I could take this same 8 hours and I can go and I can be productive for me. And what you're not doing for me, I can make happen. So I don't have to chase you for this. And it was just so freeing. And then it got to
Mm-mm.
the point where I was so okay with what he wasn't doing that he became apologetic for not doing it. And I was like, this is crazy because when I wanted you to do it, you didn't even
You
want to
didn't
talk
want
to
to.
me. Yeah.
Mhm.
But now that it's like, I'm like, whatever, you do whatever.
Mhm.
Now it's like at every turn, there's this compassion. But I think when we back off sometimes and we get people to be convicted by the Holy Spirit instead of feeling like we have to be the ones to convict them,
Right.
you see some meaningful change. And so I'm telling you, Lady Myya, I just would tell everybody, and even if you don't have the baby mama, baby daddy drama, there's nuggets of conflict resolution laced throughout this book that just kind of teach you how to navigate life.
Mhm.
Because every day there's conflict, and where we are within our nation and in our world with people being so wound up so tight and so tense because of all of the negativity and all of the challenges that people are facing in this season, people need to know how to resolve their inner conflict so that they can have outer peace
No, honey, girl, please. I bless peace over my house every day.
every
Every
day,
day. I
every
ain't
day.
got time. Because I feel like I've it's been, I guess, what my daughter, my middle child is 20. So it's been 18, 18 years since drama. Okay.
Fighting. Yes. And I
Girl,
said, I
I
called
ain't got time.
at all. So like
Nope.
me and the girl who we started off like this, right? Me, not my husband's ex-wife, but my ex-husband's the other female
The other
involved.
one. Mm-hmm.
We were talking the other day because see, one of the things you don't bank on when you're young and in it and dumb like that is the fact that 20 years later, y'all still gonna know each other. You're
Exactly.
still gonna know. So I asked her, I said, did you ever stop to think that we would still be connected after all this time? And we both sat there and we started laughing. We were like, not at all, because we were so in the fight. We didn't think
Right.
about long range.
The longevity. Yeah.
And so, like at this point now, and we both of us, and I thank God for this, we are at a place, she and I, where it's like, let's tell our story, girl. Let's tell other people what we did and how we did it. Like we can sit down and we talk about it, and there's this honesty. And it's so interesting because my daughter came to me. My daughter, my eldest daughter, she's 19, and she was very hurt by a lot of what she saw. Because we think our kids don't see, but they see. They
Mm-hmm.
see. And the young lady, the other woman, was telling me that her daughters, she's got two girls, they kind of feel that too. And so it was interesting because she and I did a radio interview together, and my daughter heard it. And my daughter came to me and she said, she was like, Mom, hearing you guys really made me feel better. She was like,
Mm-hmm.
hearing you guys acknowledge and own and talk about and laugh about some of the stuff that happened made me feel better. Because what me and that woman, we were both saying, we were just young and stupid. If we would have known better, we would have
Right.
supported each other. We would have had
Mm-hmm.
each other's back, because you need that. You
Yeah.
need that. Who wants to
Takes a
raise?
village.
And look, long as you're not mistreating these kids, I need to get over the fact that we shared this man. We need
Mm-hmm.
to raise these kids. We need
Yes.
to raise these kids, because the whole world is suffering right now because people are too busy fighting each other than raising the kids.
Right.
Yeah,
Exactly.
so it's
Exactly.
just something. It's something.
You better talk about it. Talk about it. I love it. I love it. I love it. But you know what? Yes, so many people are going to be able to really relate,
Yes.
to those situations, just even to the conversations at the same time, because it's like, why, and like my kids go, for why though, Mom? But for
For
why?
why
Like,
though?
but
For
for why?
why though?
Exactly. And when you can't ask, and you need to keep asking yourself why until you can't ask no more.
Right.
Why do I act like this? Why? Okay, I'm acting like this because I'm angry. Why are you
Why
angry?
am I angry? Yeah.
Yeah. And so it's just, when you keep asking yourself until you can't ask yourself no more, you get down to the problem.
And you know what I found the problem was for me, Myya? I found that the problem was I needed to know why he didn't love me enough to do right by me.
Right.
And then what I learned was that wasn't the case.
Mm-hmm.
That wasn't the case. I have learned over the last 20 years that it's not that people don't love you enough to do right by you. It's that they don't understand how to do right by you.
Right.
They just don't have the capacity. And so what we look at as mistreatment is simply the best treatment somebody has to give us.
Mm-hmm.
It's just the best they have to give us because it's what they know. It's what's in them.
Yeah.
And it is not for us to be trying to fix everybody.
Right.
It is for us to let God work on us. Now, some of y'all might be way better women than me. You might have it all together. You might not deal with the emotional ups and downs of disappointment and heartbreak and breakups. Like, you might be able to get broken up with or break up and walk away and just move on to the next, but not me. Not me, though. That was not my testimony.
No, and I get it. Okay, so my thing is this, right? I guess because I grew up around, all my friends were men, or guys, I should say.
Mm-hmm.
And so I basically had a man's mentality.
Mm-hmm.
So when I would get into relationships, I was always, that's my dude though. Like, she cool as heck, that's my little
Right.
sis or whatever. And then, when I would try to get into relationships, it was more so they didn't, like you said, they didn't know how to respond to me, nor did I know how they were supposed to respond either. So,
Right.
that was always a big thing. Like, okay, I don't know what you're gonna do. Are you going left? Or you going right? Okay, so if
Right.
you go left or right, okay, do I go the opposite direction? So
Right.
it's just so many things that you want to account for in a relationship, especially when, okay, you got two individuals that had two totally different upbringings.
Right. And
Do
here's
you
the,
really?
and
Yeah.
here's the thing I learned. I learned that I was just as wrong as he was.
Mm.
And I've learned that in a lot of the conflicting relationships. My mom tells me I talk with my hands a lot. Lady Myya, I'm just gonna keep doing this and y'all just gonna have to forgive me. I'm looking
Do
at
it.
this video and I'm like, I do use my hands. But anyway, I learned that when we stop and y'all, it's all about introspection,
Mhm.
because we are usually, and I don't mean this in a situation where like this dude is whooping your behind and you have not done anything to earn or deserve that. But I'm talking about like in these argumentative situations, we're usually just as at fault as the other party.
Right.
The reason I say that is because somewhere along the line there was a red flag that you ignored.
Mhm.
There was a conversation that you didn't have because you didn't feel comfortable or confident bringing up that subject. There was something along the way that led up to, because you don't just wake up and end up in a bad place. It's a progression. It's progressive. And when we don't listen to, particularly as women, when we don't listen to that intuitive voice that says danger, danger,
Mhm. Mhm.
danger, danger, we end up in these situations. But then that's okay. That's a part of life. But then the next step becomes figuring out, how do
Mhm.
I wash this mud off of me? Because
Mhm.
I need to be able to move, and I don't need to, when you're muddy and that mud starts drying, you get stuck. So if you're in this position, you're stuck like this.
Mhm.
And you want to be able to still move very fluidly. You want to be able to navigate this life with as much motion as possible, so you can duck and dodge, so you can jump when you need to, all that. But you can't do that if you're stuck in the mud. So how do I wash this mud off of me? Yeah, I got in it. I rolled around in it. I did this. I made this choice.
Right.
That's the first step, ownership, right? Now, how
Mhm.
do I get out of this? And I
Right.
think, we sometimes we need people to just be straight up with us and tell us, I've been there, I've done that, and here's how I did that. Here's how I came out. And that's what this is about. Not only this, but that's what everything I do is about. I
Mhm.
try to be very honest. I try to be very straight up. I try not to put on an air, because I need for people to know that you have to be able to be honest in
Mhm.
order to be your best self.
Right.
And so this is just my honesty, and I'm just, it just is what it is, Lady Myya. And this book is just the first step in men and
Mhm.
women, primarily women, that's my audience, being able to acknowledge, it's on me.
Yeah.
It's on me.
Mhm.
So okay, child support is not getting paid. Okay. Well, do I want to spend, because I went to court for 15 years
Mm.
before it clicked. 15 years. I went to court thinking this is gonna work. And it never did.
Mm-mm.
But then
Mm-mm.
finally I was like, you know what will work? I'm gonna start this business.
Mm.
I'm gonna go
Mhm.
in, I'm gonna go and start this janitorial business. I'm gonna invest my energy, my effort into building this business. And before I knew it, I was bringing home $85,000. I
Mm.
didn't need his child support,
Mhm. There you go.
but
Do
I
it.
had to get to the point where I stopped expecting for him to do for us
Mhm.
what was God's responsibility. It's God's responsibility to provide for and take care of us.
True.
I had to
Very
move him out of the place of God. But this book will tell you how to get your mind to that point. It'll tell you how to get your heart to the point where you can let go of the anger and the resentment and the bitterness and just be free.
That
Just be
is so awesome. That is really, really awesome. Okay,
free.
girl,
Yeah.
you
Now
got it.
you brought something up earlier, and I want you to bring that up while we're on this live, because I think that was a really great question. You asked me about, is it taxi cab
Oh yes, taxi cab dreams,
Taxi
y'all.
cab dream.
Taxi.
Talk about that, Lady Myya.
I know. We got this. We got this. So I brought up taxi cab dreams. So I figured this. You know how you get a taxi cab and you only have a certain amount of money and you tell them what the destination,
Yes.
and come to find out you only got enough for halfway? What do we do? How do we go the rest of the way? I was asking my sister here, do we sit there and sulk? Do we get on our feet and keep it walking? Or do we wait until we have just enough just to get the rest of the way and
Right.
that shortcut to get
Right.
another cab?
And I thought, like, when you asked the question, I was like, that's such a good question. And immediately my response was, we go halfway. And the
Mhm.
reason that we go halfway is because you don't know what you're going to run into when you get there.
Yes. Yes.
And if you are faithful, like if you believe that God said, I want you to go to point Z, but you can only get to point M, then you
Mhm.
have to know that when you get to M, he's got something worked out there to get you the rest of the way to Z. And you would
Mhm.
be surprised, like when you start making steps, you would be surprised how many people come to your aid.
Mhm.
How many people come to your aid? Like that cab driver, you might get in there and y'all start talking, and they'd be like, you know what? I got a friend who's on their way there. I'm gonna drop you off my friend, and they're going there. They'll take you anyway.
Mm,
Like
mm,
you
mm.
just there is something to starting what you are supposed to be starting. And
Yes.
if you get scared of the fact that you only have enough to get you halfway, you may become so paralyzed by that that you never start.
Mhm.
Can you
Yes.
imagine how many people have amazing things that will change this world that
Mhm.
they just never start?
Oh, too many. And this is why I have my shows. My shows are, hey, wait, wait, wait. Why are you sitting on your gift?
Yes.
Why are we doing this? Like we're not going forward. What do you have to lose? And who
What do you
told
have
you
to
that you
lose?
had anything to lose? Who told you? They
Right.
wrong.
Right.
Don't, look at where they are
Yeah.
and what they think you gonna go without them.
Yeah. And failure is a part of success. You have to be willing to fail in order
Mhm.
to succeed. I have been writing bits and pieces all my life. None of them have gone anywhere. They have prepared me for this.
Yeah.
They have prepared me for this. I've been serving other speakers. Lady Maya, I thought about this today. This blew my mind. I was sitting this morning, I think I might have been brushing my teeth, and I started thinking about a plant, how when you put a seed in the ground, it takes some time before you see that seed mature, right? And so
Uh-huh.
I was like, because the Bible says you reap what you sow. And so I started thinking, I was like, well, what have I? Because I was thinking about the book. I was like, Lord, did I plant a book anywhere? Because I want to reap from this. And the Lord reminded me, He said, do you remember serving this one? Do you remember serving that one? Do you remember when you did this for this person or you did that for that person? That was all a part of the planting process. He
Mhm.
said, so now you do get to reap. You will reap. And it was just this, I got super excited because I was thinking, man, when I did that, I wasn't even thinking about this.
Exactly.
Wasn't even thinking about it. But it's like, okay, thank you, Father, because you knew. So I got halfway. And then I didn't even know where Z was. I just got to M. I just got to M because he never told me where Z was. And I'm going to be perfectly honest with everybody who watches this. I don't even think that this is the end for me. I don't think that this is the pinnacle of what I'm supposed to be doing. I think it's like doors. This door opens for me to walk through. And then I'll get into the room that I'm in and I'll do what I'm supposed to do in there. And if I do it properly, then another door will open and I'll walk through that. And I think I'm just going to keep going through these doors and keep doing what God has assigned my hands to do until He calls me home. And I'm going to pray that I've touched the people that I was supposed to touch so that when I get home, I can hear, well done, well
Good.
done. And so at this point, I just want to do what I'm supposed to do and do it to the best of my ability. so that when I'm all done, I'm all done.
Okay. So no, and sis, I love you for that. I love you for that. Certainly. When you were talking about, because now you got me on two things, and I'm trying to keep them juggled here.
Go ahead.
So when you were saying in regards to the taxi cab, and you were saying how you may get to that one point to end, you know, and someone else can take you the rest of the way. And it kind of came to me was, okay, what if you had a lesson to learn at M?
Yeah. And you don't want to skip the lesson.
No, you do not.
Because then
And
you'll
so
get to Z and you won't even know what you're doing.
I know, right? I was like, wait, there's a lesson in there. There's a
Yeah.
lesson in there. And and some people feel like, and even saying how people are sleeping on their blessing. You sleeping on your blessing. Yes, it may not look like you are succeeding. It may not look like that right away. But the fact that you went and you did and you stepped out on faith and you did what you needed to do, it's going to show you where you need to be, what lessons you need to learn, so that when you do get to where you really want to be, you are that much more prepared and grateful for it. Because
Yeah.
when you get stuff and you ain't grateful for it, it don't last long, do it?
At all. At all. Y'all remember I told y'all about my ex-husband got that $500,000 settlement. He got it in August. By December, he had nothing.
It was gone.
He had nothing. And I don't say that to knock him. I say that to reinforce what you're saying. When you're not prepared for the blessing, you waste it.
Exactly.
And see, a lot of us, we get so frustrated by the process that we don't realize that the process is a part of the purification, is burning away all the garbage and the drama that you would have taken into this place that would have destroyed what's waiting on you.
Right.
So you better just go through your hardship, go through your trial, go through your tragedy, because on the other side of that, if you are faithful, you just go through. And I'm not saying it's going to be easy, because it's not. It is not easy. It is very difficult. There were times when I laid in my bed and I cried, and there was nothing anybody could say to me that would stop the tears. There were times where I thought that I'd be by myself for the rest of my life. There were times that I thought for sure my daughters were destined to be just all jacked up because I had just messed this all up. You understand what I'm saying? Those times really came. They really came. And we still, and here's the truth of it, we still pay for some of the bad choices that I made while I was in the middle of that. Because your consequences don't just go away because you've now passed your test. You still have the consequences. But now I can talk and I can speak and I can have authority when I speak, because I know what I'm talking about. I know what I'm talking about. And I can be trusted. When a woman comes to me and they share the contents of their heart with me, and I can turn around and say, listen, baby, this is what I have been through. She can trust me. And she can have confidence that if you can make it, Tisha,
then I can.
right? So we have to go through. We have to.
Yes.
Yeah, we gotta go to M. You gotta stop at M.
Sometimes
you gotta stop at B, C, D, E, F, G. Yeah, you gotta stop. You gotta stop.
And then you never know. You can get double letters after you get past Z. Never know. Because then that's double the blessing, ain't it?
And sometimes, and I don't, and this is the thing, because I think we tend to always want to look toward what the good is going to be. But I think that we have to understand that even in the suffering, that's good. Even the suffering is good, because it's how you go through it.
Right.
It's how you go through it. And I made mention of my girlfriend who and there's a reason, because I know it's somebody right now who is watching this and they're in the middle of the suffering and they're like, lady, you are crazy. Tisha, you're crazy. There's nothing good about this. But the reason I say it's how you go through it, I'm gonna tell you. The young lady who sold the book into my life, my dear, dear friend, Jonita Renee Parrish, she would call me from time to time while she was going through cancer. She was always just full of joy. Like she was the person, she'd get up and put her makeup on. She was just fabulous. And until she started telling people what was going on, nobody knew because she just kept it together. But I remember there was a point where she would call me and we would sit on the phone and she'd be like, I need you to pray for me. And she would be in tears. Now, nobody else saw this except for the people who were the closest connected to her. There are maybe about 5 people out of all of the, she had thousands of followers, okay, because she was just so cool. There were maybe 5 of us who got to see this part, but she would call in tears. I need you to just pray for me, or I need you to just talk me through this. I'm in so much pain. And we soon found out that the reason, now mind you, she was still going to work. She was still, doing all of the things that she had done before. We found out that as a result of the cancer in her body, her bones were internally breaking inside of her body. They were literally like she could be sitting there and a bone would break inside of her body. Now we know what it feels like if we break a finger or an arm or a leg. Imagine multiple bones just arbitrarily breaking inside your body, but you keep on keeping on. You keep smiling. You get up. You're losing a tremendous amount of weight. Like she started looking gaunt. You're losing all this weight, and you still get up and put your makeup on and look fabulous. When she left this earth, the example that she left behind, you should have heard how many people said, I need to stop complaining. I need to stop complaining. I was one of them. I need to stop complaining because if you can go through this, surely I can handle this, what I'm going through. That's why I'm telling you, there's beauty and there's a blessing, even in the struggle. It all depends on how you go through. Because she left all of us understanding that there's nothing we can't face. Nothing, Lady Myya. We can face anything. And we better learn how to face it with a positive disposition and faith that whatever the end is going to be is whatever the end is going to be. And I'm just going to trust that I'm going to get from here until the end. I'm going to make it. I'm going to make it. And that's just that.
You got to, but you have to, because it's like, you don't know who you are exposing to what you're bringing out, like a lot of people want to have a great perspective. They want to, have a great disposition and different things like that, but you never know. You holding on to that disposition could bless so many more people to go through just as your friend did. You never know, your smile and your tenacity and your strength gave her more strength just to be who she was. So, we don't think about the things that we put into the planet because it does affect everyone.
That's right.
Everyone. And I just
because I don't care what people say, we all are connected. And what you do does affect me. When people shout that old nonsense, well, I don't know why you worrying about me. What I do doesn't have anything. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. What you do has an effect on me. It might be an indirect effect, but we are connected.
No, I hear you. Girl, tell them. You better tell them. Okay, so we got in the taxi cab, y'all. And we got out to learn the lesson. And so that's what happened.
Yeah. And some of y'all might not have the benefit, like some of us. I didn't have the benefit. My life wasn't a taxi cab. My life was a bus ride. It was a bunch of people on the bus with me. A bunch of people I didn't know, some I did. We stopped every 5 minutes. People got on and people got off. Like it was, my journey has been a public bus ride, not not even a charter bus. Like we were on the city bus. And that has been my life, but it's been so cool because
Did you get a transfer? That's all I need to know.
I finally was able to buy a car. So my life is now in a private vehicle. I finally was able to get in a car.
That's how you do it. That's how you do it. You got to reach for them stars, y'all. Y'all got to reach for them stars. Girlfriend. Well, tell everybody how we can reach you. I know you did that in the very beginning, but just so that, it's reinforced.
Absolutely. So first of all, let me say this. In addition to being an author, I am a consultant. I teach people how to build and establish their own business. I'll show you how to set up your for-profit. I'll teach you how to really create a plan to get you from point A to point M to point Z. And I love doing that. And the same thing with the nonprofit organization. And if you're interested in that, or if you just have questions in general for me, you can reach me at TishaWaddell.com. That's Tisha, Tisha, the initial, Tisha at Tisha, Tishas, Waddell, Waddell.com. You can also check me out on Facebook, Tisha Waddell, brand builder, life blogger. And you can pick up a copy of my book, Broken to Blended, Embracing and Establishing a New Norm in just 7 weeks at www.brokentoblended.com. And I tell you what, we could just chat. I like talking every now and then. So if you just need somebody to hear you and maybe give you a different perspective, don't hesitate to reach out to me.
Yes. You see, I try to bring you guys the best of the best. The best of the best. I appreciate your energies, Miss Beloved. And so, I only hope that this is not the last time I get a chance to speak with you and different things like that. Or, if there's anything that you would need me to do or help in any way, please don't hesitate to ask.
Well, since you mentioned it, I will ask you this. If you would please be so kind as to post a link to my book on your social media, I would greatly appreciate that. Let everybody know we've talked. You pick up a copy, read it, let me know what you think. I want to hear back from you.
Hey, and not a problem. Hey,
and let's stay connected, Lady Myya.
Let's do this. Hey, look, go to my YouTube, you guys. Hit that subscribe button, that like button. We need all your support at all times. However, I will say this. I'm always willing to help. She is always willing to help. We're all so willing to help. It's not just a thing of, we need to just do this. No, like if you really was to sit down with us, you would hear a whole conversation. We would go dig in and dig out, of whatever pit that we're in and show you who we really are. And I think that is so important and just so special about the people that I do get a chance and an opportunity to just sit down with. I mean, when sister girl is chilling, she got a sweatshirt on. She is like, what and what, know.
This is my everyday though, and that's the other thing. Like I've decided, because trying to be somebody that I'm not just takes too much effort.
It does.
So this is my everyday. I'll wear lipstick every now and then. I'll put on some mascara. If I really feel like it, I'll do a face. But this is my everyday. Sometimes you'll catch me in a really cute outfit and a pair of heels. But I'm gonna wash this lipstick off. I'm probably gonna go sit on the couch and watch some TV and just relax, because taking care of yourself is very important.
Yes, it is.
Yes.
Well, we appreciate you, beloved. You guys know how to reach out to us now. And I am at onelady.myya@gmail.com, and that's Myya, Myya. And we love you so much. Thank you for your energies, Miss Tisha. Thank you so much for being here with us. We love you so much. We will see you guys